It's the Best Damn Sports Show podcast with your hosts, Jason Cahill and Bernie Kim.
Welcome to the Best Damn Sports Show podcast. I'm Jason Cahill. Sitting next to me, the Robin to my Batman.
Wow.
Well, actually, it's not quite fair. Maybe the Cheech to my Chong. Is there another analogy that
I would be use? Chong, though. Chong comes second.
Well, I think calling you Robin kind of demeans your presence on the show.
Yeah, Robin's kind of lame.
Right, kind of lame. Cheech and Chong, though, very
cool. I mean, I don't mind.
Even playing field.
I don't mind, second fiddle. That's fine. Just not Robin, please.
Okay. bestdamnpodcast@yahoo.com is the email address, so send us an email, ask us whatever questions you want, and how about we answer them on the air? I think.
That'd be great. I'm still waiting to see who wins the email contest from 2 weeks ago. Who's going to be a guest on the podcast?
You know what's funny is that we still get... Every day we get about 2 or 3 emails for people looking for the $10 that I offered 3 or 4 podcasts ago.
That ship has sailed. Sorry.
But the amazing part is that the offer was for the first person to email us, they'd get $10. To think that 4 weeks later, just the audacity to think that we wouldn't have gotten one email up until that point and that they could still win $10. I just find that pretty funny. But hey, we always appreciate the emails, so thanks for those. We got a good guest coming up later on today. He guest hosted all week. He's always fun. Eddie George is going to join us.
Can't wait.
You know, the one thing that we need to ask Eddie about, we kind of sprung it on him during Friday's show. Apparently, and really none of us knew this until that day, he appeared in the movie with Steven Seagal called Into the Sun, and we played back a scene from that movie. And if you have not seen this movie, well, I wouldn't recommend seeing this movie, but if you have a Netflix account, maybe just Netflix it and watch the first 45 seconds, and you will see Eddie George die on camera.
I like how you preface it by saying, if you have not seen this movie, as if there are people there. Oh, yeah, Into the Sun, of course.
Oh, sure, the best of Steven Seagal's movie, Into the Sun.
Yeah.
So we will definitely ask Eddie George about that one. So that's coming up a little bit later. Bernie, great week's worth of shows this week. One of my favorite guys was here guest hosting on Tuesday, and that was John Cena.
That guy can do it all. I mean, he's so polished. So polished.
He can do it all except one thing. He can't throw out a first pitch. He can't throw a baseball, it seems to me. Now, he told the story of his first pitch at Fenway Park on the show, and it seems to me that while he's a fantastic wrestler, great athlete, I don't think he can throw a baseball.
I don't think, but if you look at his body, like in person, he is such a gargantuan man, and his arms are enormous. I don't think he has the build that, throwing is a very unnatural motion. His muscles seem too big for that.
Okay, I buy that, but, Marissa Miller, not that she is of the same build as John Cena, but we saw her throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball at Wrigley Field.
Bring in the heat.
Right, and John Cena can't hit the catcher.
I think he was a little embarrassed by the fact that a supermodel could outthrow her.
Probably so. He hit that girl right in the shin too. He said that she was actually injured by his throw, which was pretty lame. But we loved Cena. We love having him on the show. His coworker, I guess you'd say, WWE diva Michelle McCool, was also on the show on that day. Now, sometimes when we have these guests, I will go in the green room. I will say hello, and there's usually 1 or 2 things that, I'm really dying to talk to these people about. Now, Michelle McCool, I'm a big wrestling fan, but I didn't want to talk wrestling with Michelle McCool. There was one thing I wanted to talk about, and that was Project Runway.
She was on that?
She was on Project Runway. She and a bunch of the other WWE divas were on an episode of Project Runway.
Being models, or is that what they were doing?
Well, one of the challenges was the designers had to create an outfit for a WWE diva. So she was one of the divas, and one of the designers, Jillian, had to create an outfit for her. But the fact that of all the things I could talk to Michelle McCool about, I chose Project Runway.
I think it's a little odd that there's somebody that is passionate about Project Runway that also watches professional wrestling.
Hey, listen, Project Runway is a great show. And by the way, she told me, she goes, listen, you'd be surprised, you're not the only guy to come up to me and say, wow, saw the episode of Project Runway and wanted to talk about it.
Are you the only straight guy that's done that?
I don't think so. It's a good show.
Okay.
Bernie, I'm telling you.
Okay. Maybe I'll check it out next time.
You should watch it. GP, Gary Payton, was back guest hosting. And, he says such outrageous things when he's on the show. and we were talking about Kimbo Slice, the MMA fighter, and he seemed to think that he could beat up Kimbo Slice in a fight. He could take him in a fight, is what he said.
He's so skinny. Like, one of Kimbo's arms is the size of his waist.
Well, now I will say this: he didn't actually say that he could take him in actual hand-to-hand combat. He seemed to indicate that he'd fight dirty.
Right.
He'd be picking up chairs and
run around and tire him out, and then pick up a chair and hit it on his head.
I don't know. What do you think? Who wins in a fight, Kimbo or
no
GP?
No question.
All right. Now, what if they are in a ring where there are metal folding chairs and actual weapons that GP can pick up?
Then Kimbo would win even faster. That's ridiculous. Are you kidding me? Do you really think Gary Payton could win in a fight against Kimbo Slice?
I'm going to be honest. I think GP is a scrappy fighter. I think he's one of those guys. He's going to do anything it takes to win.
He's like a Ric Flair, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he's like a Ric Flair. He'll fight dirty. Anything it takes to knock the other guy out.
I bet you Gary could fight, but I mean, this is Kimbo Slice. This is a big dude, fighter, from the streets.
Some people think he's a fraud.
Well, maybe in the MMA world, I still want to fight him.
I don't know. I'll take GP.
All right,
I'll take GP.
Okay.
Hey, one of my favorite segments of the week. This is the first time I think we've done this on the show. We talk movies with the guys, and we literally talk Sex in the City for about 3 minutes.
I can't believe that.
I mean, the whole discussion started because in the talent meeting that we have every day, Eddie George, who was guest hosting, actually said that he went to see Sex in the City, and the guys were kind of giving him crap for it. So we talked about it on the air, and he defended it. He seemed, not only did he like the movie, but he defends it by saying it's a movie about forgiveness, which I find just fantastic.
It kind of doesn't surprise me, though. Eddie seems like a sensitive kind of guy. No? I don't know. Did you see the movie?
I have not seen
Will
Sex
you
in
see the movie?
No. Which I guess is surprising considering I watched Project Runway and yet I won't go see Sex in the City. I don't know. I watched the show and I have no desire to see the movie. I'd rather go see stuff like Iron Man.
Which was great.
Or Indiana Jones, which was...
Did you see it? I haven't seen it yet.
I actually agree with Gary Payton's thoughts on Indiana Jones. Not that great.
Did he get the plot right, at least when you guys were talking about it?
Well, he mentioned that it had to do with aliens, and I guess theoretically it did have to do at some point with aliens. So he sort of got it right.
Okay.
But, yeah, that was a great segment. We were talking movies with the guys, and it was pretty funny hearing them talk about Sex in the City. You know what? One other thing that we heard today, which, Bernie, I can't believe this could be true. I heard that next Tuesday, when the Lakers play their playoff game against the Celtics at home, Ron Artest is going to the game with Penny Marshall.
Huh? That might be the oddest pairing maybe ever.
Could that be possible? Could they possibly be going together? Do they happen to be sitting next to each other? I'm fascinated. So I asked the person who told me this, and she said that they go to all the games together when his team isn't playing, he's in L.A. They go to Lakers games together. Ron Artest, Penny Marshall.
What do they possibly have to talk about?
I don't know. Well, you know what? I think we should actually find out. I think we should get Ron Artest on the phone. I need to get to the bottom of this and find out how they met, what that relationship is like, what they talk about during the games. There's a lot of stuff that I want to know here about Ron Artest and Penny Marshall. So let's get him on the phone.
Can't wait.
Hey, Ron.
What's going on?
It's Jason and Bernie from the Best Damn Podcast. What's going
up,
on,
Ron?
man? How are you?
The best damn podcast in the history of podcasts.
You know it.
Hey, Ron, I got to ask you about something. We heard today that you are going to the Lakers-Celtics game next week with Penny Marshall. Is that true?
Yes, Penny Marshall's the best.
Nope.
She's a really, really good friend, and she always treats people the right way. She has many, many friends who look after Penny Marshall, and yes, we are going to the game together. She's treating me to some popcorn and some nachos, and I'll be sitting first row, just jealous of all the people in the championship. Yes.
How did you meet Penny Marshall? How does Ron Artest meet Penny Marshall?
Well, Penny's a big basketball fan. If you ever, really, people need to see her sports room. Her sports room is probably the best sports room in the history of any person who has sports memorabilia and everything. And so she's a really big sports and not just basketball. And I met her at a Clipper game, and she was always nice. She was at all the Clipper games, and she was always so polite. So immediately, when you got a fan that's really for the opponent, but they're being very, very polite, you automatically gain respect, for that person.
So were you a big Laverne and Shirley fan?
Yes. That song is a classic song.
How does that song go? I forget.
Well, I forget. Every time I hear it, I know the words. I know what's coming next. You know the melody. You know exactly when the beat is going to drop. You know, every time you hear the song, it's a classic song.
Here, ready? I'll start it. Here's what I remember. You finish.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What comes next?
Do something else.
Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated.
But you gotta sing a melody or something. You know?
That's the song. That's all it is. It's just they count and then they do Schlemiel, Schlemazel.
The chance we're making.
Oh, that's okay. So
the rules we're breaking.
We're gonna make our dreams come true. On your mark, get set and go now.
Come true.
That's awesome.
See, that's what I was looking for.
Yes.
So you guys are kind of like Laverne and Burley then, no?
Yes.
Hey, so what do you talk about at the games? You like break down the games? She's that knowledgeable?
She knows everything about basketball. She's been around it for so long, and she actually, when the team is playing well, what they're going to do next, and she knows everything. She could actually be an assistant coach.
Wow. So now does she have you maybe go get hot dogs and nachos for her, or does she pay? Does she buy rounds of beer?
No rounds of beer, but if she needs hot dogs, needs something, I'll definitely make the run. You know, I wouldn't mind being Penny's assistant. You know, for the day. You know, she deserves it. You know, definitely.
Wow. That's amazing. So not only are you going to the game Tuesday night, but you've gone to many basketball games with Penny Marshall, and you've been to her house apparently.
Yeah, in her house, she has the best sports memorabilia room, boats and baseballs, footballs, basketball. Somebody should really do a special.
Wow.
It's really a sight to see. I was amazed and showed my wife, and my wife was amazed, and she's like, wow, she really has all that stuff? And I was like, yeah. I told her I want to go back just to sleep in the baseball room. Her baseball room is the best. That got to be a sight to see, and she just definitely gave me ideas if I ever wanted to build a sportsman really room, you know, exactly what to do.
That's great. Hey, one thing we wanted to ask you about. We'd heard that you worked at a Circuit City back when you were
in Chicago,
yeah.
right? Didn't you work at a Circuit City?
Is that true?
Well, I was trying to get a job at Circuit City back when I was in Chicago, and I was going there every day, and I said, you know, it'd be cool. It'd be cool if I could just go there and actually get a job, you know, instead of always just going there and every day to practice, and I'll probably be able to get 50% off.
It's all about the discount is really what it was.
So what happened? You turned in an application, and under employment history, you put NBA?
Yeah, I put Chicago Bulls. That's when I was working with Chicago.
Wow, so was Jerry Reinsdorf your reference?
Not Jay Krause. I didn't have no reference. Actually, my reference was one of my friends. I really didn't want to involve Chicago Bulls. They was already paying me enough. So I didn't want to tell them that, you know, I actually needed more money and needed another job. So I didn't want to offend them. But I couldn't take the job because it got too much press, and I wasn't ready for that type of press, you know, just yet. So
hey, we gotta get you to our sponsor on the Best Damn Sports Show is Best Buy. We gotta get you to work at a Best Buy for a day.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to working at one of those stores, and I would do a good job.
Yeah, they could probably give you a discount too.
All I'm asking for is my checks to come on time. That's it.
All right, man. Ron, thank you. Thanks for joining us again on the Best Damn Podcast.
All right.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Tell Penny we said hello. Wow. Bernie, that might have been my favorite moment in any of the podcasts we've done, singing the theme song to Laverne and Shirley with Ron Artest.
He knew it. I mean, he didn't know the beginning, which is kind of surprising, but then once he started, you know, he got it towards the end.
It is pretty amazing. He didn't recognize the Schlemiel Schlemazel
which is like
part.
the most recognizable part.
No, but he got it. He got it. I like how Ron sings in that high falsetto. he loves the falsetto.
That's his thing. He's like Jay Timberlake or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Going to the game with Penny Marshall, he's always got something going on.
He really does. I would love to be a fly on the wall of those conversations. That's pretty amazing. All right, let's get to our second guest on the podcast. This is the first time we've ever had two guests on the podcast.
Hour-packed.
This is
it's good booking.
This is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
So let's get to our second guest. He guest hosted all week, and really there's pretty much only one thing though we want to talk to him about, and that is That is the Oscar-winning movie Into the Sun with Steven Seagal. So, Eddie George, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, what's going on?
Eddie, let's get right to it. There is one thing we want to talk about, and that is your Academy Award-worthy performance in the movie Into the Sun, a clip of which we played on the show on Friday. So let's get right to it. First of all, how surprised were you when we played that clip?
You know, I was extremely surprised that you would show my awesome performance from 4 years ago. I had relived some great moments after watching it. It took a great deal of preparation for character. I did some deep studying. I studied how to properly hold a AK-47, how to run and survive in the jungle. And I had to go deep with my character, so it just reconnected me.
When's the last time you've actually seen that movie? Have you ever seen that movie in its entirety?
Oh, I've never seen that movie in its entirety.
Is that because you die 45 seconds into the movie?
Actually, it's 30 seconds. Okay, so it's 30 seconds in, and it's right before the opening credits, and, I'm dead. It was, the people that I saw it, they were like, was that Eddie? They weren't quite sure, So it was cool.
How does Eddie George end up in a film that not only stars Steven Seagal, but apparently was released in South Korea? How did that happen?
I have a great agent, brother. I have a great agent. I can't help it. My agent put it together, and they saw the talent that I have, the potential I have as an actor, and I said, hey, let's go for it. They're trying to build me up overseas first, try to get that following going.
Oh, exactly.
And what was it like for you to work with Steven Seagal?
It was cool. Steven, he's a different cat, and it was an honor to work with the Ponytail Bandit. And he would change the script on me a few times, in my heartfelt dying speech, he wanted me to say something else. Like, okay, Eddie, I want you to say, this was Steve would say, okay, Eddie, I want you to say this. After you get shot, I want you to look at me, and I want you to say, oh, I'm dying, man. And then I'm going to say to you, no, you're not. And then you're going to say, oh, you're a lying SOB. And then I want you to say, when you go back to Louisiana, look up my mom and tell her I love her and I miss her gumbo. No, I had to say that at least 30 times.
Well, then what happened when it actually got filmed? No gumbo line.
No, of course not.
Well, no gumbo line, no lines at all.
To me and say we're going to edit it totally out. That would have been over the top. It was embarrassing. I had to do it at least 50 times in different tones, different ways. It was different facial expressions. It was really embarrassing to say the least.
Wow. Now you said he was a different sort of cat. Well, define different. Because by the way, he's been on the show before. I got to tell you, Eddie, kind of a jerk. He's kind of a jerk.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't a jerk to me per se, but we're in the jungle in Thailand, and he comes out with an entourage of about 15 women. All of them are his assistants. They are holding an umbrella over his head, and he's walking, talking about when he was in Vietnam and his homeland, how he lived over there, and how he had survived. And, he's just, he really is, believes his hype, and he's into himself. He knows who he is.
Who do you think would win in a fight, though? Be honest, you or him, if it came down to it.
That's a good question.
At this juncture in his career, I would say I can get him good. I kick him. He has one bad knee in his right knee. I'll kick him in the knee really good. I think I got him.
I think you've also got about 20 years on him. He's probably about 60 or 65 at this point, right?
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's gained a little weight since back in the day. He got a lot of weight, actually.
So have you talked to him? Are there any plans for Into the Sun 2?
No, there's
He's
no
dead.
of it. But I died.
Well, no, it would be the prequel.
Of
course, it would be the prequel to Into the Sun, where you're actually alive. By the way, do you know what your character's name was? Because it's in IMDb.
His name is Jones.
That's exactly right.
His name is Jones.
I love that you know the character's name, and yet you had no lines in the movie and died 30 seconds in.
Well, I did have lines. I said, Mayday, Mayday, we have a code red. Go back to the jungle scene. We were looking at the poppy fields. He wanted to go save the young girl about to get raped, and I told him no. And those were my lines, and it took me some time. I had to, like I said, I had to do some really deep character study for that guy. You know, Jones is very special to me. I identify with Jones very well.
Oh, yeah.
Jones is very complex.
Specialist. Yeah, he's a very complex person.
Well, what's the next acting gig you're going to do?
That, after I did Into the Sun, I got no more offers. I've just basically...
That is shocking.
Which is shocking to me. Basically, I've just been taking classes, and hopefully when the opportunity, if it ever arises or comes around again, I'll be ready for it. So we'll see, man.
Hey, Eddie, I was checking your IMDb page. You have another credit on there for a show called Karaoke Dokie. What the hell's that?
I don't know what that was.
Dolly Parton was listed in the credits of that. Did you sing a song with Dolly Parton?
No, I did not. I was a judge on that show.
All right, because you know we'll find that clip.
You know, I know you guys will, but there's nothing spectacularly funny about it. I mean, it was me judging a karaoke show on CMT.
All right, we'll have to take your word for that. All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for joining us, and thanks for reliving the memories of filming Into the Sun for all those Into the Sun fans out there. Hey, good luck on your test tomorrow. What's your test in?
An econ.
Econ. All right, man. Good luck, and we'll see you soon on Best Damn.
I can.
All righty, take care. I really think I might want to Netflix Into the Sun and watch it this weekend.
There's a copy floating around the office. We can get it for you.
All right. Well, thanks to our guests today, Eddie George and Ron Artest, an action-packed podcast.
Great show. Great show.
If you want to email us, the email address is bestdampodcast@yahoo.com. Until next week, I'm Jason.
And I am Bernie.
And we'll see you soon.